I would like to set up some conditional formatting that will alert me when an employee has worked overtime. I will basically measure the time between the start and the end of the day, as well as subtracting the lunch to get the total work time. A simple calculation. I will basically take the end time, subtract the start time from it, and then also subtract any lunch time from that as well, and that should give me my total time worked during the shift. Now we can see that the formatting is off a little bit. It should just say 10 hours and not 10 a.m. So I'm going to strip off that a.m. and I'll do this for the whole column. Select the column, come out, right click and choose Format Cells. And when the Format Cells box comes up, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't want the a.m. and p.m. I don't want the seconds. I only want the hours and the minutes, and I'm going to also put that letter H in square brackets so that it'll represent 24-hour time. So just the hours and the minutes will work for me here. I'll click OK, and it looks like I get the proper formatting. Now we'll go ahead and fill my formula, and everything looks good except for my second entry. And if I look closely, I can see the problem. The shift starts at the end of one day at 10 p.m. and rolls into the next day at 7 a.m. So I can't subtract the end time from the start time in this case. I need to set up a test for this to see if the start time is greater than the end time and then make an adjustment for that. And I will make an editing change where I will put in an if statement. First, I will just test to see if indeed the start time is greater than the end time. And if it is, I'm going to go ahead and change up my calculation just a bit. I'm going to take the number 1 and subtract the start time from it. In other words, if I started at 11 p.m., by taking 1 and subtracting 11 p.m., essentially what I'm doing is taking 24 and subtracting 23 from it. 23 being the 11 p.m. hour, 1 hour from a whole day. That leaves a residual of an hour. And then I just add that on to the end time. The end time in this case being the beginning of the next day. And then I will just subtract the lunch hour, if any, from that. Of course, if the end time is greater than the start time, then I'll go ahead and do my original calculation, and everything should work out just fine. I'll go ahead and fill that, and it looks like I'm getting my numbers the way I want. Okay, next we'll apply our formatting, and I'd like to have a little icon show up to the left of the elapsed time if the time is greater than 8 hours. I will select my whole column, and I will come out here and choose conditional formatting. And I will come down to icon sets and choose these indicators right here. Now you get a default setup, so you need to come back and customize this with your own rules. With the column still selected, I'll go to conditional formatting. I will choose Manage Rules, and in the Manage Rules box, I will come out and choose to edit my rule. First thing I want to do is reverse the icon order so that my stop value or my alarm value is at the very top. And I'm going to say, first of all, that these are numbers and not percents. So when the value is, and I'm going to come out and say 0.334, that is 1/3 of a day. So if you think about this, 8 hours times 3 makes up 24 hours, which is a full day. Well, if you take 1 and divide it by 3, you get 0.33333, and I'll just stop it right there at the third precision point to the right of the decimal point. I'll say 334, and that represents 1/3 of a day. And when the value is greater than 1/3 of a day, I want this icon to show up. When the value is less than 334 and greater than 334, that's never going to happen because it can never be both this and this at the same time. So we are not measuring when it hits 8 hours. We're going to come down and do that right here when we say the value is less than or equal to 1/3 of a day. So this should work for us. I'll go ahead and click OK. I'll go ahead and apply it. I'll click OK again, and I can see it working out here. Now, if I were to come out here to my lunch hour and change this from 1 hour to say 59 minutes, then I will have worked an 8 hours and 1 minute day, which will flag me. So it looks like it's working properly. I'll go back and just set this up as 1 hour.